been practicing here for 35 years. Seen a lot of changes in the hospital during that 35 years. We've had a lot of additions, but I think the one thing that's really remained constant is the medical staff and the caring that they have for our patients. Our staff is from this community, and we're taking care of our friends and neighbors and loved ones, and you can really tell that in the care that the patients are given here, and it's just been an honor. And Greg mentioned the physicians that have passed this past year. Dr. Browning, Dr. Edwards, they were my family doctors when I grew up. They patched me together a few times when I was growing up, and just tremendous people. Once I got to know them as a physician, they were just great people. Served the community all those years. Mark Kingston, can't say anything more about him. He was just such a great person, such a kind person. And Ron Ross, he was one of a kind, and he was just a great person too. And I think the first day I came here, Jim Ellison was the hospital administrator then, and Ramona Hatfield, I think, was the first person I saw. And I grew up with her, rode the school bus with her for years, and so she was one of the first person I met when I came to the hospital here to interview. And Connie Salmon, she's just, I don't know, if she quits, I'm going to have to quit too. We do without her. She's just a tremendous person. But the hospital really has meant a lot to this community. I grew up in Fort Gay, and it serves the Fort Gay, Louisa area, and without this, I don't know what we've done through the years. It's just been a tremendous impact. And remember when Greg came, he played 120 pounds? Yeah, that's right, it's true, yeah. But him and Lori, they came, and they just fit right in with everyone. Just it's been a tremendous asset having him here. So I won't keep you any longer. We'll go ahead and I'll say a blessing for the food, and we'll get you all something to eat. Dear Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you, Lord, for allowing us to be here today. We thank you for what this facility has meant to all of us through the years, Lord, for the people that served, the lives that have been touched by the care that's been given here, Lord. We thank you for our staff that's here that provides such excellent care, Lord, for the patients. The ones who can't be here, they're working today. I just pray that you be with them, Lord. Be with our clinics that are out here that see patients each day, too, Lord. I just thank you for all your blessings. Thank you for all the ones that have came out today to celebrate this, Lord. And I just pray that you continue to bless this facility for the next 50 years, Lord. As we ask in your name, just bless this food to our bodies as well, Lord. Amen. Amen. Hatfield.
We've got some really good gifts for you, and we want to have some pictures, but you know, what can I say about Connie Salmons? She basically delivered both of our babies. She's taken care of me several times, and she's taken care of all of us. And Ramona is, you know, when you have something to go to for nursing and nursing leadership, Ramona always is there and provides it for us. But we cannot say how much proud we are of you and for all the things that you've done for us and throughout the years, and we definitely want 50 more years from you. I mean, I have to have it in writing. We've got some awards for you and some, Skylar, do you want to get those for them? And some certificates, and we'll get Ramona's picture later, but Connie, on behalf of all of us, you've touched so many lives, it's uncountable, and we appreciate all that you do for us. And I won't try to, I mean, I look like a giant beside of Connie. Certificates from, I don't think that they even know that. We got it. Nope. Thank you so much. Thank you for the speakers so far. And again, Rocky's been right there for us, and he touched a little bit on ATRIP. Most of you probably don't know what ATRIP is, but I got to thank him and the governor for continuing to think about reimbursement to small hospitals and all hospitals, but they have recognized that this extra reimbursement to facilities are keeping us alive, and quite frankly, we got to keep that going. So, and I know you will. So, next, I'd like to, Three Rivers is owned by Quorum Health Corporation. We went from when we first opened, we were called Extended Care America. That was what Humana was before they branded Humana. When they built this facility, and Dr. Edwards didn't touch on it a lot, but the medical staff here in the town, we had 2 facilities, and they knew that they needed basically to close both of those facilities and a new facility. So the medical staff got behind the building of this facility, and I'm not sure how Humana and the leaders of Humana at that time got involved. They were mostly nursing homes at that time, but David Jones and Wendell Cherry was the president and the leaders of Humana. And from what I've been told, this was Wendell's baby. This was Wendell's project, and he wanted to come to Louisa, build a new facility to replace the 2 that was downtown, and bring quality health care to this community. And basically that's what happened. We've had a lot of different changes, not a lot of changes, but we've had several ownership changes, and I've worked with a lot of different, can you hear me? Leaders and owners, but Quorum has owned us now for 4 or 5 years, and we've had just a tremendous amount of attention. Again, during COVID, the poster back there on the wall that Heroes Work Here, I can't emphasize enough how much I appreciate our employees and how they stood to us to that. But Quorum is located in Nashville, Tennessee, and our president, CEO, is here today. His name is Chris Harrison, and I really appreciate him coming up from Nashville. Have a few more leaders up here with us today. Michelle Reynolds, Ryan Freeman. Ryan's not a stranger to us, but we appreciate that, and I'm going to ask Chris to come and just give us a little update. Thank him for coming up to this.
Basically, is an acclamation from the governor that's signed that talks about exactly what this hospital has meant to the people of Louisa, Lawrence County, and this region. It talks about the dedication to be able to sustain 50 years in an industry, Greg, that hadn't been easy. It's been tough. But hopefully we're on higher ground. And hopefully with the understanding of the importance of healthcare, of what it means to our people and what it means to our economy, the governor sent this recognition on your 50 years of contribution to the people of our region, to the quality of health care, and to the economy of Eastern Kentucky and the entire region. This is signed by Governor Andy Beshear, and this is a governor that I believe is going to stand strong when it comes to making sure that the people of Kentucky have quality health care for generations to come. Thank you all for having me. Well, let me first of all say, Greg, what an honor it is to be back in Louisa, Lawrence County today. I look through this crowd and I recognize so many faces and so many people and so many different folks that I had the opportunity when I represented this county for 30 years of my life in the Kentucky House of Representatives, and to be here today to help celebrate this really, really special occasion. To celebrate really a milestone of 50 years, Mayor, and you're right, in the healthcare industry is really something special. You know, Greg, I was here with you for those ribbon cuttings, I think, on 3 different occasions. I know a new ER, ICU, and one other that's skipping my mind right now, but there's surgery. 3 different occasions, and every time I came, it amazed me that the folks who are a part of this hospital, the folks who were willing to continue to invest in this hospital, the folks who understood that this was a special thing for a small community, but it represents and serves more than just a small community. It serves pretty much the tri-state area, to be very honest. Throughout Eastern Kentucky, throughout West Virginia, patients even from Ohio that come here. I was honored to see the CEO of UK King's Daughters here today, Greg, and to know that you're and her together reaching out to help each other, to know how you can play in the same arena and provide quality health care for people throughout our region and accessible health care throughout our region. Dr. Edwards, I don't want to ever have to follow you very often. I hope you're on a road show someplace, getting an opportunity to speak. I'm honored to be here on behalf of the governor today, but folks, I'm honored to be here on behalf of myself. This place is almost like a second home to me. You folks took care of me for a long, long time and allowed me to be your voice. I'm honored to be in the capacity that I'm in now as the senior advisor to Governor Andy Beshear. I'm honored to work for a governor that understands the importance of health care. His daddy and Governor Beshear probably have done more for health care and the advancement, affordability, accessibility, quality than any two people since I have served in Frankfort, Kentucky. When the Affordable Care Act was passed, Steve Beshear was the first governor that said, we're going to expand Medicaid. We're going to make sure that Kentucky's a part of that. That was tough at that time to do that. It was a political football at that time. And then when Andy Beshear got elected, he said, we're going to expand it even further. We fought hard in the legislature and in the governor's office at the federal level to make sure that we enhance Medicare payments to especially rural hospitals. ATRIP is just one of those that is enhancing reimbursement payments to providers and to this hospital, which has really helped, Greg, I think, the recruitment of quality doctors and staff to come here. I'd also like to say that I'm getting ready to finish my 38th year in Frankfort, Kentucky. And you know, the last 4.5 years have been challenging. The last 4.5 years, many of us in this room have faced some of the most unprecedented challenges of our lifetime. We faced COVID, a global pandemic that came to the United States of America, and here in Kentucky, I'll never forget it, March the 6th of 2020 was our first case. And when I think about March the 6th of 2020, the governor had been in office for 3 months. And when I walked in his office, he said, we have our first case. And he said, I hired you as my senior advisor. What's your advice on a global pandemic? I said, Governor, there's no playbook. I said, you're going to have to make tough decisions. And he came down on the side of trying to protect our people first, and then trying to keep our economy moving forward. Flooding in the east, tornadoes in the west, and we've continued to rely on our healthcare professionals to be there for us every day. Today I lift up our healthcare heroes. Our healthcare heroes who stand under this tent today or over in the hospital as we celebrate this 50th anniversary. Those healthcare heroes, Greg, that put on whatever they had, the masks, the gloves, and went in those COVID rooms before a vaccine. Put their own lives on the line to save somebody else. Today I lift up you healthcare heroes that work here every day, rain or shine, global pandemic, whatever it is, doctors and all, that say we're going to be the front line to protect the people of Kentucky. So let's give our healthcare heroes a big round of applause on this 50th anniversary for what you do for our people every day. Thank you all so much. You know, the mayor and judge both touched on the importance of this hospital. And Greg, I remember that, you know, when you needed something, and still today, you're not bashful about asking, and you shouldn't be. And you shouldn't be. No. I remember you asking me, Rocky, you know, we have a major employer here in this hospital that provides quality health care for the people Lawrence County and beyond. But you know, we got a little old 2-lane road that our people, ambulances and everything else, they can hardly get to the hospital on certain times of the day. And at that time, I happened to be the budget chair of transportation. And I shook Greg's hand that day, and I said, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do, Greg. The next session of the legislature, with your advocacy, we're going to build a road that'll get school children into this school and make sure an ambulance can get to this hospital when needed, when somebody may be in the last second, the last minute of their life. Greg advocated further. He said, you know, this little hospital up here that employs hundreds of people, you know, it's so important to the economy of this community and beyond. Hundreds of people, Greg, work here. I don't know the exact number, but hundreds of people work here. And I walked in here today and I saw these badges that had RN on them. You know, my youngest is in nursing school as we stand here today. She's at ACTC, working in a hospital, hands-on experience. And you know, I really think about a lot what Eastern Kentucky would be without this network and infrastructure of quality health care for our people. Now, folks, we all suffered from the downturn of the coal economy, and we still are. The thousands of jobs that were lost, directly and indirectly, and I'm one of them. I walked out today, one day, with 1,700 people, Judge. And that impact on our economy has been tremendous. But if not for the healthcare industry, if not for the hospitals throughout our region, if not for those providers that branch out like a vine from this hospital, the pharmacies, the private practice doctors, all of that, the people that work in those offices, the major growth that we have seen in Eastern Kentucky, especially since the downturn of the coal economy, has been in our healthcare industry. So while we lift up today 50 years of unbelievable healthcare at one hospital, Three Rivers Medical Center, that's provided this quality care for 50 years of our life in our community, I also lift up the unbelievable economic impact that it has, the only job growth we've really seen since the downturn of the coal economy, and the major investment that we have seen has been in the healthcare industry. So today I want to congratulate Three Rivers. Today, Greg, I want to congratulate you, everybody that works around you, and this amazing healthcare staff, this expertise that you have here, taking care of people every day. So we're going to continue to do our part. Part of having a healthy economy is having a healthy healthcare industry. And part of having a healthy economy, to be able to recruit business and industry to come to our region, one of the main questions, Greg, that's asked is, tell me about the quality of your health care. So the reason, Mayor, you're seeing growth in this community is a lot of different things. We have broken every record when it comes to the tourism industry over the last 3 years, and a lot of them are coming here. We have seen record economic development announcements throughout Kentucky. Spending strong, revenue strong, largest budget reserve trust fund in the history of Kentucky. Over 55,000 new jobs at the highest wages we've seen in Kentucky over the last 4.5 years. Every credit rating agency across America has rated Kentucky's financial stability as positive. We sold $600 million in bonds the other day. You know how much money that saved you to have a positive credit rating from every bond credit rating agency in America? It saved you millions. So folks, positives far outweigh the negatives here in Kentucky. And I'm proud to stand here as a fellow Eastern Kentuckian. Eastern Kentucky from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, and I'm proud of it. And I can guarantee you, as long as I stay in Frankfort as a senior advisor to Governor Andy Beshear, I will assure you that this community in our region of eastern Kentucky will always have a front row seat, advocating for us, advocating for the things that our people have needed and deserved. We sit in the middle of a region that helped build America, mine the energy resource to help us win 2 world wars, mine the energy resource which powered the industrial revolution of this country and created the strongest middle class ever known to the world. Our region did that. Our people did that. And the reason you're here 50 years later, and 50 more to come, Greg, and 50 more to come, is because of the amazing people that make it happen every day. Greg, if you'll come up here, I want to present you something
Thank you, Greg. Good news is my speechwriter at the city retired a few weeks ago, so I don't have a long speech. It stuck with me. And I told Greg, I told my mom I was coming here to speak. I said, can you believe Blaine was mayor of Louisa, which is the honor of my life. It's been 10 years. And get to speak at the 50-year anniversary of the hospital. And was thinking about, according to Belinda, the mayor in 1974 was Dr. Richards. And so I prepared me a little speech and said, Dr. Richards delivered me at the Louisa Hospital downtown in 1967, not here. And he was my family doctor all my life growing up, all through school. And he was the greatest doctor I could ever imagine at the time. It's like he knew what was wrong with me when I got to the door. He had the prescription ready. And I just always thought the world of him. And I said, so here I am, Mayor. After he delivered me, and Mom said, well, that's good, but there's only one problem. Dr. Richards was my doctor, but he was out of town the night he was born, and Dr. McNabb delivered me. So, with that, I'm going to move right on to a few comments that I had to say. Can you imagine what a feeling in 1974 when they had this little shindig? In 1974, and the mayor and the judge and the doctors were all here. Can you imagine the feeling and the sense of accomplishment that Louisa was going to have a hospital of this magnitude?
Wow.
And let me tell you, as mayor, I serve on the Kentucky League of Cities Board of Directors, and I get to meet a lot of mayors across the state. And when I have the conversation, where you from, Louisa, how's your population? 3,000. What do you got? And when you say hospital, you have a hospital for 3,000 people? And you see that across the state. And it has shown me, by talking to them, how fortunate we are to have this facility here in our size town, in our community. It cannot be stated with words. It can only be stated with the evidence that we've seen over the last 50 years. So, as I speak today, I'm trying to think of Dr. Richards when he was mayor in 1974. The sense of accomplishment had to be overwhelming. And I moved from that today to say this. Today, I think about the sense of pride and accomplishment of us surviving 50 years. Louisa has survived a lot in 50 years with the economy, the downturn of coal, and all that we've been through. And we're still here. We're still here striving, taking care of our folks, taking care of the countless lives that's been saved in that ER, the countless babies that's been born through the years and lives that's been started, the mouths that's been fed from the jobs that it's provided and still providing today. We have become a little medical hub, to be a little town. We see so much outflow from the hospital to the other things. So, let me say, as mayor of 2024, I'm feeling that same sense of pride and accomplishment today that we're still here. We're still here and we're still growing. We were the only city and county in eastern Kentucky with a growth in population in the last census. And I'll tell you what, it's because of our people, it's because of our determination. We're resolute, we're sound, we're strong, and we're working together, and we're working for the right purpose. And that's why we're growing in Orange County. Last thing I would like to say is, I can't thank the staff enough. I use the facility, my dad uses the facility, my mother-in-law. And you know what? It's nice to pull up to the ER or the outpatient and Casey come and say, no, Mr. Sloan, hold on, I'll help you. I'll help you get your dad out of the car. And from there, it's right on through the entire hospital. And it's not just cause it's me. That story is resounding across the community. They do it for everybody. Staff, I thank you. Greg, thank you. Louisa, thank you for letting me be your mayor. I love you.
Elected officials, distinguished guests. Get this thing adjusted here. It's my distinct honor to stand before you today to celebrate the remarkable contribution of Three Rivers Medical Center to our beloved Lawrence County. For over 50 years, this institution has been a cornerstone of the community, providing exceptional healthcare services and improving the quality of life for countless residents. Three Rivers Medical Center has not only been a place of healing, but also a beacon of hope and progress. Over the past 5 decades, it has significantly impacted our county by offering critical medical services, creating jobs, and fostering a healthier community. The data speaks for itself. Thousands of lives saved, numerous health innovative launch, and a continuous commitment to excellence of patient care. I would like to take this moment. I'd like to take this moment to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the dedicated staff of Three Rivers Medical Center. Your unwavering commitment, hard work, and compassion have been the driving force behind the hospital's success. Each of you play a vital role in ensuring that our community receives the best possible care, and for that, we are profoundly grateful. As your county judge, executive, as your county judge executive, I have the privilege of working with local government from the early stages of my career. It has been an incredible journey, and I have now serving my 3rd term as an elected official of Lawrence County. I am particularly proud to have been involved in the early construction phases of the esteemed institution. It was an honor to witness the foundation being for what would become a pillar of our community. Furthermore, the success of Three Rivers Medical Center would not have been possible without the strong partnership we have forged with our community. Local business, nonprofit organizations, and educational institutions have all played a critical role in the supporting of the hospital's mission. These partnerships have enabled us to expand our services, launch innovative health programs, and ensure that every resident has access to quality health care. Together, we have built a network of support that strengthens our community and enhances the well-being of all members. The economic impact of Three Rivers Medical Center of Lawrence County has been profound. As one of the largest employers in the area, the hospital has created hundreds of jobs, contributing significantly to the local economy. Yes. The presence of this medical center has also attracted other businesses and services to our region, further boosting economic growth and stability. The hospital's commitment to providing high-quality health care has made Lawrence County a more attractive place to live and to work, fostering a vibrant and thriving community. In closing,
let us celebrate the achievements of Three Rivers Medical Center and look forward to many more years of service and dedication. Together, we will continue to build a healthier, stronger Lawrence County. Thank you.
First to the governor, which Rocky might enjoy this. But one of the jokes was this little community got together and they voted this man the laziest man in the community. So they made out a certificate and wrote down there were the reasons why. And they took it to his house and knocked on the door. He said, "Come in." He was laying on the couch. And they said, "We voted you the laziest man in the community. Here's why." And he read all the reasons. And the guy laying on the couch with this and said, "Well, I don't know if I deserve all that or not." He said, "Well, go ahead and fold it up and roll me over and stick it in my back pocket." The other one was the lady that her husband was in jail. She tried every way she could to get him out of jail. But she couldn't do it, so she got an audience with the governor. And the governor said, "Well, why is your husband in the jail?" She said, "He was in there for stealing a ham." And he said, "Well, what kind of husband is he?" She said, "Well, he's so-so." He said, "Well, what kind of father is he?" She said, "Well, he's so-so." He said, "Well, why are you so anxious to get him out of jail?" She said, "Governor," said, "we're out of ham." But I've enjoyed being here at the hospital and being particularly working with the people. That's what makes it nice and makes it pleasurable is the people you work with. And we've had some wonderful people working with out here, and I've enjoyed it thoroughly. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So good to see y'all. I was here when the hospital opened in 1974, I believe it was, and Art Linkletter was the main speaker. We had a big crowd. He had a program on TV at the time, and some of you people may remember, it's called Kids Say the Darndest Things. And I remember one of the questions he asked this little boy, if he knew what the early bird gets the worm meant. This little boy said, "Yeah, I know." He said, "What does it mean?" He says, "If you get up real early in the morning, you can eat a worm." He said, "Have you ever done that?" He said, "Yeah, I did it." Art Linkletter said, "What did it taste like?" He said, "Like spaghetti." But he was entertaining. And then I had the privilege to drive Carl Perkins, who was here, was I think, a state representative at the time. And I drove him over to Sayersville. He was going to be campaigning over there. And on the way over there, he pulled out his vest pocket a little vial of pills. And he said, "What do you think about these?" And I looked at him. It was quinidine. We don't use that particular drug for that purpose nowadays, but he said, "I was arguing a case on the congressional floor against this lady in New York, and as I was determined that she would not pass her bill." And he said, "I passed out on the floor. And they took me to the hospital, and this is what they put me on." He said, "What do you think about it?" I said, "That's pretty good medicine." And so I let him out at Sayersville there, and he started shaking hands as soon as he got out of the car. He was a fine gentleman. I really respected him. Several years ago, it's been more than several, I've been retired for 12 years now. Oh my gosh. And there's some humorous things happened at the hospital. Somebody reminded me of one this morning. When I was about 60 years old, I got on the elevator of the hospital here and going upstairs to see patients. And a nurse's aide got on the elevator with me, and I was trying to make small talk, so it was hot that day, like 89 degrees or something. My wife and I usually watch the Today Show, and they announced that it had rained here for 2 months, every day practically. And they announced it was going to be sunny and 89 degrees. And I was so happy, and so when I got in the elevator, I had mentioned this girl in the elevator that she was an aide, I forget her name. I said, it's gonna be 89 today. She said, well, happy birthday. One other thing stands out in my mind. Oh gosh, when I was probably in my 50s, I had a patient in the intensive care, and she'd been my patient for years. She's from up in Inez. And she had terminal COPD, and she unfortunately died, and I went out into the hallway to tell the family that she had died. And there must have been 12, 15 people out in the hallway. And I told them, I'm sorry, so-and-so's died. And boy, that was like setting a bomb off. One lady passed out, and they were fanning her and taking care of her. Her sister was a big lady, grabbed me by the collar, and I had a tie on, and she was pulling the short end of my tie. And I was getting choked more and more as time went on. So I stuck my hand in between my tie and my neck so she wouldn't choke me to death. And Connie, the nurse who's here now today, little Connie, weighed probably 90 pounds, soaking wet. I said, Connie, get her off of me.
Oh my gosh.
Connie was like a flea on a dog's back. And she wasn't doing very good, so I said, Connie, go get the big doctor. There was a doctor working in the emergency room. He's about 6'3" and 250. So he came over and got her off of me. So I took my tie off and I walked out later on after I made notes on the chart and walking out in the parking lot. And there was her son and his son sitting on the curb out there in the parking lot. He was probably in his late 30s and son was the early 20s. And one of them said, hey, Doc, I want to talk to you. Uh-oh. At least I got my tie on.
Oh my gosh.
So I walked over and he walked up to me and shook my hand. He said, Doc, I'm sorry that so-and-so acted the way she did. And said, he mentioned the name of his mother. So said, she likes you. Said, she was always glad to see you and so forth. So I got good after that. So, but Dr. Brown had sent me a book on Appalachian humor several years ago.
And where to do this. So we decided we were going to get a big tent. So I wish they'd got a big tent. Where they found this thing at is unbelievable. It's huge. And so they've just done a lot of hard work and a lot of planning and preparation, I think, for it. So we're going to start the morning off with a song from Mr. Will Case, Tim Case's son. Tim's our respiratory therapist, and he's going to sing My Old Kentucky Home.
The sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home. 'Tis summer, the people are gay. The corn tops ripe and the meadows in the bloom, while the birds make music all the day. The young folks roll on the little cabin floor, all merry, all happy and bright. By and by, hard times comes a knocking at the door. Then my old Kentucky home, good night. Weep no more, my lady. Oh, weep no more today. We will sing one song for my old
Amen.